So welcome again, another episode of Project Cancer, and this episode is about why I called it, or having talked to other people, why we called it Project Cancer. Again, Lise will help me through this process. So Lise.
Yes, so why did you decide to start a project, to call it a project, your cancer journey?
Yes, for those people who know me, which I don't know how many will be watching this, my background is engineering, so I did engineering and computer science at university, and I've run businesses since then. So a project is the concept of, well, in any situation, anywhere in life, even though people don't call things projects, they can be. Buying a new car is actually a project. It's trying to choose the car, then negotiating to buy it and buy it, etc. So that's why I've run my life almost, not everything in my life. I don't run my love life as a project, but the things in life are projects. And in terms of cancer, I believe that there are several stages. All projects have inputs and they have outputs, and they have stages. And the stages of Project Cancer, in my view, are discovering I had it, diagnosis, which we've talked about before in other vlogs, then therapy, and then in my case, in many people's cases, one hope remission, and then that's it, and then one dies of old age. Or in my case, unfortunately, because it's stage 4, it's probably likely to be mutation, which then moves on to another type of therapy. So that's not the end just because it mutates. So it's a number of stages of the project.
Yeah, so in that way, a cancer journey is similar to any other project. It has stages.
Yes, it seems very clinical, this, and I'm sure there are people listening to this who probably don't like the way I've done this, but that's just the way my mind works.
It's the way you approach life, and it's the way your brain works, very analytical and dividing things up and looking at them almost dispassionately, actually. But part of the reason why you're able to be strong enough to do this is some of the other things that have happened on your life journey that have built a lot of resilience inside you, that have forced you to be very resilient. And that's partly why you're able to be so strong and so open about it. Can you share with us a little bit more how you've built up your resilience and what happened to you in life?
Yeah, this is quite tough, and I've already been public about some parts of this, but for whatever reason I developed alcoholism in my 30s and 40s, and then with help from a number of, particularly a rehabilitation place and Alcoholics Anonymous, I stopped drinking back in 2000, so that's 22 and a half years ago, and I haven't had a drink since then. But that was pretty tough times, not just for me, but probably more for my family and friends around me. So I got through that. It's difficult to say how tough that was. It wasn't like it wasn't like a single event that I'm just going to come on to. Since then, I've unfortunately, tragically had a number of immediate family deaths. And friends. So I lost my best friend from school to leukemia 20 years ago. One of my best friends from university died mountain climbing. But much more tragically, the mother of my children, and we'd separated about 10 years beforehand, died suddenly in 2006. 3 years later, one of my children died in 2009, and the reason I'm welling up here is because I'm just recording this 4 weeks after one of my youngest son killed himself, something I've been very public about with a GoFundMe page, which has already raised, as of today, £32,000, which we're going to use as for legacy to create, to help charities reduce the number of younger men committing suicide, which is becoming such a big issue. So if you take those other things that have happened to my life, unfortunately, I've just been unlucky, perhaps, I don't know how you'd call it, along with the failure of a business and a few other things that went on in my time. I'm taking this as something that's, and this may sound absolutely terrible to you, but something that's relatively, I'm even going to use the word trivial, compared with some of the other things I've been through, this is something that I have a level of control over in terms of, you know, whatever it is, diet, you know, attitude to life, you know, positiveness, sharing, etc., which I'm just doing in a way that I'm just getting on. I know that the outcome from this, because it is stage 4 cancer, will almost certainly be a shorter life than I'd like to have led. But at the same time, compared to the other things that have gone in my life, this is, yeah, I don't like to use the word trivial, but it's less significant, shall we say.
Yes, maybe it feels less significant to you, but also these other things that have happened to you have built your resilience. You have come through incredible things, and you're still standing. And to some extent, that's what you take into this Project Cancer, isn't it?
It is. I mean, I would never, ever wish anything like the sort of things that I've been through in order to build the resilience that I've built. There are other ways of building resilience, and one of the lessons that I would like you to take away from this, and these I'm talking particularly about any audience that are younger who haven't yet had any contact with cancer or remote contact via possibly grandparents. If you can somehow build up resilience to cope with other things in life, not just cancer, then I think that will do you in great stead. The resilience I've built up hasn't been done in a proactive way. It's been done in a reactive way to these pretty terrible or very terrible events that have happened in my life.
Thank you, Peter, so much for sharing that so openly. Every project has an input and an outcome, and so you and I together, and everyone around you, we are simply doing everything we can and working as hard as we can to make the best possible outcome to Project Cancer. And I think that's where we should probably leave it today.
Yeah, thank you, Lise, thank you.